Alright, so in this tutorial I'm going to be going over lighting, rendering, and shaders, and also studio lighting. Okay, so I have this asset open, and I'm just going to talk about a little bit of it. One second. So I have everything named. Let me just also change this as well. Reason why I'm being really finicky about this, or OCD about the naming, is that I'm going to also import another different asset, and it has its own little secondary pieces. Alright, so one of the things is that I cleared out the transformation data. I cleared out the history. Reason why is, if you don't, you can get sketchy. And if you have data in here, and then if you try to move this around, something called double transformations can happen, where if you move it, right, and if there's already information in here, it'll end up doing like things like this, where it'll leave things behind like this, or it'll start just doing wacky things. It'll do some offsetting. That's where you want to make sure to clear out the transformation data. Okay, and everything else is the pivot is centered, right? This one, center pivot, is to go this one right here, that guy. But typically I want to grab all of it, and I'm gonna group it, Control G, and name it Bomberman GRP for group. And to quickly select the group, I can just select any old piece, then press the up arrow, not the page up, but literally the up button, and that's how you select it as a whole super quickly. I'm gonna turn off symmetry for now. Alright, and then I'm gonna import another asset. So I'm gonna pause the video. Alright, so before I do anything, before I pause it, I just unpaused it. So I went over here to import options. Again, that's under File, Import, Option Box. And I'm gonna turn off Use Namespace. Because if you have this on, it's gonna select the namespace as a parent, and then add new namespace, meaning the file name. So if I were to import, say, this file, it's gonna, whatever it imports, it's gonna tack on the name of it, meaning literally Bomberman for rendering, and then whatever name it is afterwards, other pieces. And it gets super long, and it just turns into a nasty mess, and students don't bother to correct the naming, and it drives me insane because I can't read what the hell it says because it's so long. So I'm going to uncheck that. It says here, we strongly recommend that use namespaces blah 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 to resolve name clashes. But unless you got a really complicated scene with multiple things that have the same name, then yeah, it can cause issues. But right now this is an intro class, and there's not a whole lot of complexity in terms of so many assets. So I'm gonna just yeah, I'm just gonna leave it like this. Okay. Alright, so I imported this thing down here, but even though I changed it, the import settings, it still did the annoying thing. So for example, this here is the name of the file. and then this is the actual name of the asset. Wait, that's that piece over there. So again, it's a really freaking annoying, but you have to go and delete it. So if and when this happens, you do have to go in and make sure to change the naming. Oh god, I'm gonna change the naming. I'm gonna pause the video. Alright, so I renamed it. Again, I put here God tier, right? So the base name has God tier, just like how Bomberman has Bomberman, and then all the other stuff. And these, right? It also brought in the display layers, and this is a mess too. So typically, I'm just gonna go in. You right click, and you just delete it. Wait, no. Delete layer. Delete layer. Delete layer. I'm gonna delete all this stuff. I'm gonna pause the video. Alright, so I paused the video. I unpaused it. So here's this, all this stuff. And no transformation, no history, everything is clean. And I'm gonna grab everything. Okay, this is not good. Control 1. Alright, so all this stuff has to be lowered. I'm gonna press, see there's a huge space. This is the ground floor. There's a reason why. Press D as in David, hold V as in Victor, and snap it. And then press W to get out of it. Right, then I'm gonna press X, hold X, and drop. Frick. Zoom it down around here. There. Then I'm gonna grab everything because they all have data now since I moved it. I'm going to freeze transform, wipes out everything. Then I'm gonna Control G. I'm gonna name it tier group. I'm gonna move it over here, press R, I'm gonna scale it up the same size, scale it. Something like that. Grab this, press up arrow, press W, move it over a bit, grab this, up arrow, scoot it in a bit, like so. More. Okay, guess this is okay. All right, so all of that. All right, so this is just it's good to show all this because you know, to be wary about placement, right? Also, the size is this big because I'm trying to remember to keep with proportional sizing, meaning real world scale. So right now, these grid units, one grid box is 1 centimeter. And how do I know this? It's because if I go under Windows, Settings and Preferences, and then okay, see, centimeters, settings, set to centimeters. And again, so why is this important is because of the fact that lighting and rendering and just in general for everything, it is based on real world scale. So for example, lighting has a specific fall, not specific, but it has a fall off in terms of the strength of it, the light source in relation to the subject matter. Then if you consider more complicated things like, for example, physics and I don't know, a whole bunch of other things for simulations, that's when the real world scale comes into play, because Maya, from what I remember, what I read, it calculates it based off of real world scale. That's why. And the more higher level courses, the instructors will go further into that and emphasize about that. So that's why I'm kind of making sure to mention it and talk about it. Anyway, so this size is, if I go in here, create, measure tools, distance tool, and if I go and click here, hold shift and click down here, this is 14 centimeters. So 14 centimeters is about 5, or 15 centimeters is about what, 6 inches or so, give or take. Yeah, about close to 6 inches. So if you could imagine this being 6 inches, right, high, that's like about you know, large, medium-sized, large toy. And so what I'm thinking is Bomberman. So this is a Mario character, Bomberman, and it's like what, 4 foot tall, give or take, I think. If you know, imaginary scale for a video game character, so about 4 foot tall, maybe 3 foot tall, right? So what, that's 91 centimeters for 3 foot tall. Anyway, so if I'm gonna jack this up to about 91 to 94, so Bomberman should be about yay high. Oh, that's freaking huge compared to this. Do I really want to do that? I mean, I could. Yeah, maybe I'll leave it at 25. About 2 foot tall. I'll make him 2 foot tall. Yeah, this is about 2 foot tall. 65 centimeters is about 25 inches, 2 feet tall. So I'm gonna grab Bomberman. I'm gonna scale him up. So grab from the center. Oh yeah. Then scoot him over. Grab the 5-tier set. I'm gonna scale it up. It's from the bottom up, so okay, something like that. Hide that. Scoot that over a bit, too far away. Don't mind this. This is just a camera. Alright. So from here, I'm going to import my backdrop wall. They also call it infinity wall. So I'm going to import that in. Alright, so I imported the backdrop wall. I believe I named it something like massive cylindrical wall or something. This file is on the classroom folder, so it's obviously not big enough, so I'm gonna just press R. I'm at level 3 smooth preview. I'm gonna just grab, pressing R, the constraint scale, this guy right there. So it does this. And then I'm gonna go grab this, double click that, press, just pull it up. I'm gonna pull it really high so I don't see clipping when I do the renders. And then object mode again, press R. I want to make it even way wider, like a auditorium, that high. Okay, zoom in, like so, should be good. Maybe I'll, whoa. Make that even taller, and then maybe I'll widen this out. Yeah, I'll leave it like that. Okay, good. Alright, so I have that. Right. First thing I want to do is I'm going to just copy that. I'm going to select the wall. I'm going to dump it into a new display layer. Double click it. I'm going to type in underscore, paste in the name. Right. And then put another underscore. That way there won't be any naming clashes. The display layer naming is very fickle. You cannot have the same name, so that's why I put an underscore. Hit save. And then I'm gonna just lock it for now so I don't grab it. Alright. Then I'm going to go grab these. And just middle mouse and drag it up here, just to organize it. You know what? I'm gonna freaking group that. Name it distance tool. Yeah. I'll just hide it. Alright. Now what? Okay, I'm gonna make a new camera. Create cameras, camera. And there's a little camera down there. I'm gonna double click it, name it render cam. I always name things from the outliner. I do not recommend naming it within the attribute editor. From what I remember, I think Maya 24 or Maya 2023, it really gets glitchy when you take away the naming here called shape, especially for lights, and it just gets all effed up really bad and you won't even recognize it. I don't know how it is for the cameras and stuff, but I just don't mess around naming it in the attribute editor. I do not recommend it. They might have fixed it, but I'm not taking that chance. Anyway, spacebar. I'm gonna just do scoot this down, and this here, panels, perspective, render cam. So this is gonna be the render cam. Right. So I'm zooming out. Press 5. See, you can see the clipping. I'm gonna go into my render settings, which is the clapper and the gearbox right here. Make sure system, should be set to GPU. Under system tab, GPU, check this on. Also highlight that. always make sure we're gonna do GPU rendering, Arnold renderer. Oh, need to get rid of that. That's for previous. Just make sure you have the default Arnold denoiser. It helps tremendously to get rid of noise and grain and just artifacts. This should be on by default. I'm currently using Maya 2025 version 0.3. I'm gonna go into the comment tab, scroll down all the way down to image size, change this to HD 1080. That's our composition render when it renders out how big, 1920 by 1080. I'm gonna just leave it like that for now. Under array depth, I'm just gonna leave it default for now. I'm gonna show the process of what happens when you increase the diffuse and specular. I mentioned in class these are called light bounces. I'm gonna show how critically important they are, doing one render at a time. Anyway, here's the render cam. This is the perspective. In the render cam, I'm gonna go and turn on resolution gate, not film gate, resolution gate. It's this one, resolution gate. See, resolution gate. It's the one that's teal colored. This here is a gate mask. Gate mask is helpful as well. Gate mask. So just this one and this one, these two, not the film gate. Alright, so I'm looking at this, I'm just looking at it from the front. I already don't like this. Seeing the clipping. You will also notice if I move the viewport, right, you can see that it does this. Just to be aware of that. Anyway, so this is my perspective. What I'm going to do is, first of all, this is pissing me off, so I'm going to go shading, backface culling, and then I'm going to go to channel box, unlock the cylindrical wall, go to edge mode, and I'm just going to do that, so make it taller. Then I'm going to select the reference. Alright. Okay, just do that, and then probably just to get a frontal shot, perfect frontal shot, I'm gonna select the render cam. In here, I'm gonna just clean out the values. For example, X, which is my left to right, so it's dead centered. My Z, it doesn't. That one, you know, it's fair for it to be moving because that's just a forward and back placement. Y is the up and down, so you know that. Rotation is fine. Rotate Y, yeah, 0 out rotate Y, so it doesn't do the slight rotation. Rotation X is your up and down rotation, which I'm fine with. But rotation Y and Z is just clean and clean, zeroed out. Translate X is zeroed out, and only this, this, and this. So in here, here's a camera. Let's scale it bigger for now. There it is. Let's just head on. So it just makes for a really quick, you know, setup. I don't have to worry about anything. It's kind of boring setup, but I don't care because this is an intro class. Maybe I'll zoom in a bit. Have some clearance here. Maybe I'll grab the Bomberman. Spacing. Maybe I'll grab the set. Maybe I'll scoot over a bit. Spacing. Feels about right. guess that'll be fine. This is fine, whatever. There. This much space. This much space is just about alright. Anyway, so there's the render cam. I'm going to save a bookmark. So this, making sure I do have the render cam, so like here it is, right? I'm gonna go click on this little ribbon looking thing, that's the bookmark. I'm gonna click it once. It doesn't say anything, it doesn't confirm anything, which is super annoying, right? But to know that it is saved as a bookmark, you go under View, Bookmarks, Camera View 1. So if I blah blah blah, if I just jack something up, go to View, Bookmark, Camera View 1, bam. Alright. We have that set up. First thing I'm gonna do is change this to rendering menu. Then I'm gonna go to R node and then lights, plain old sky dome light. Like I said, this is the beginnings of a global illumination. This little weird looking sphere thing, what it does is that it's going to emanate, it's going to shoot out light rays, right? I don't know the exact terminology, but it's going to illuminate the scene using, so if I select it, a white color, right, and it's going to blast it all over. Think of it as a